Alright. What are the requirements to be considered art, do you
It's a
think?
societal thing. Like, people are like, oh, this is art somehow. Because people are weird like that. A bunch of people get together, they look at a pretty picture and say it's art.
Okay. Alright.
Here's your first picture. Do you think this is art? Do you think this is art? Would you consider this art?
I mean,
Would you consider this art?
Alright. So, do you think this is art?
yeah.
What about you, Doug?
I think so, yeah.
I'll show you the first picture.
Ha!
Yep.
Aha! I recognize this.
The lovely Brillo boxes.
And it's Andy Warhol, of course.
If you do not think this is art, how could it become art?
I mean, it's Andy Warhol, and he's very known for repetitive pictures.
He's also in the Men in Black.
I don't know. It's knowing the artist already and knowing his art style. I don't know how to answer this question because I know pretty much everything he's done. Some people don't see it as art simply because it's just a stack of boxes. Some people are just like, that's the most brilliant thing in the world. And it's just the style of art. So it can't be thrown into some big wide category that will change its style.
Would you consider this good art?
For the time that it came out, yes. That was the style. It shouts true to Andy Warhol's like entire stylistic thing. I keep saying the word style, I don't know how else to say it. At the time, yeah. Nowadays, everybody would just look at it and go, oh, that's ugly. Like, why was that a thing? It's just Brillo boxes. What even is Brillo? Like,
Okay.
but for the time, yeah.
So, do you think this is art?
Yeah.
What about you, Doug?
I think so, yeah.
Why?
I mean, pretty much every way you could define art, it fits. It's a purposefully arranged composition. The art community at large thinks it's art. It's art.
I mostly think it's art because of its pragmatic usage. It definitely, if placed well in books or other literature, it can help convey a very nice point.
Do you think it's good art?
I think in the sense of the artist spending a decent amount of time on it, I think that's a really good indicator of nice art, and I think this is good art.
I think it's good art in the way that I like it and decide to call it art.
Here's your first picture. Do you think this is art? I would say yeah. Why do you think this is art? It kind of reminds me of an installation just because there's like repetition in it. And even though it's not like sculptural and it's not like made out of clay or like a fine art, it's still like an installation on an object using like modules and like repeating them.
Okay, for the first piece of art, would you consider this piece of art good art?
No.
Why not?
It's boring.
So, what would you do? Like, what changes would you make to consider it good art?
Incorporate different ideas or something different. Everything is the same.
Okay. So is everything being the same? Is that what makes it bad art to you?
Yeah.
So then we're gonna move on to the next one. This is Piss Christ. Would you consider this piece good art?
Yeah.
What makes it good art?
Because it's like telling a story.
What kind of story?
Looks like Jesus nailed on the cross.
Okay, would you do anything, like, would you make any changes to it or anything?
Maybe put it in color. More colors, only one color.
This one. Would you consider this art?
I mean, yeah, I guess. Like yeah. Yeah.
Why do you think this is art?
I mean, it's either a picture that's been rendered ridiculously weird, or it's a painting. And, I mean, both of them are forms of art, so that one's, like, just blatantly, like, art. Like, there's nothing questionable about it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So.
This is called Piss Christ.
Yeah, you can see at the bottom.
Yeah.
I saw that just a second ago. I was like, wow, that's an interesting name. Hey.
It's a picture of a sculpture inside of a bottle of piss.
Oh, wow, okay. So that was the weird rendering, I guess, that I thought it would be.
Does it change your opinion on it?
No. I mean, yeah, it's creative, I guess. Like, who would have thought that piss would make for a really dope filter? I guess, I don't know.
Would you consider this good or bad art?
I guess, like, good, because it is really creative. I've never heard of someone using urine in their art.
Describe what you see.
It is the crucifixion, and looks like a harsh light coming in, so it's all yellow and warm. Yeah, I'd consider this art.
Is it good art or bad art?
I'd say it's pretty good art. I don't know if it's a painting or not, but it looks very well done. It's something you'd see presented in a gallery or something like that.
Does it change your mind that this is a picture of a sculpture? And
no.
The image is called Piss Christ.
What's it called?
Piss Christ.
Why Piss Christ?
Because it's in a jar of piss.
Is it really?
Yeah.
It's still art. It's representing something, so... And sending a message, so it's still art.
What do you think the message she's sending?
You don't need religion. Or religion's piss, essentially. But yeah.
He was really talking about the commercialization of religion.
If you're not familiar with the title of this piece, it's called Piss Christ.
I think that Piss Christ is certainly art because the artist managed to piss off a complete demographic, and that's awesome. If anything, its existence as an object is a performance piece that's still going on. It's hilarious.
Good or bad art?
Good art.
I think now knowing that it's a crucifix placed in piss to be construed as artwork, I no longer think it counts as good art.
That's Satan devouring his son. Would you consider this to be good art?
Yeah.
What makes it good art to you?
Because it's like symbolizing something. Symbolizing Satan eating his son. Or destroying his son.
Okay. Like, is there anything else that you like about the art piece?
Not really.
No. Okay.
Okay. Do you think that's art?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So, would you consider good art?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
I feel like this is good art because it invokes some kind of like primal almost fear or disgust at this, and to bring about like such a reaction, I think it should be considered good art.
Alright. Is it art?
Yes, I definitely think so.
You know, yeah, I would say that's art.
Care to explain why, and also if you think it's good or bad art?
Well, I would say it's art because it has some very clear thematic goals to it, maybe? I don't really want to use intention behind that, but it's definitely got this feeling that the man in the picture is like maybe insane or like just even like going through some sort of internal struggle. I think that like gets captured very well by his like almost emaciated figure and like the blood on.
So you'd say it's good art?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I would also say it's good art because as I'm looking at it, I'm actually fascinated with the woman's body. I can't stop looking at it. And the fact that I'm thinking that it's beautiful definitely means that it's art. Because I think that most things that are beautiful require a bit of creativity to them.
Cool.
Describe what you see.
It is some sort of painting of a man eating a smaller man.
Have you ever seen this image before?
I have never seen this image before.
Do you think this is high art, low art, good art? Is it art?
It's definitely art. Someone put thought into it, so pretty much everything is art.
Is it art? Why? If not, why? And is it good or bad?
Question: Am I are you asking if this picture of this object is it art or if that object is art?
The object.
That's a good question.
I think the object is art, yeah, because someone had to make it, and whether or not it's a like serialized, like a commercialized product that he got, even the person that made that commercialized product, who might have stolen, it's still art.
I would have to say it's difficult to say for me whether or not it is art. I think maybe the object as a whole I wouldn't really consider art, but I would definitely consider the graffiti on the I'm guessing it's a urinal. I would consider that art because I actually love bathroom graffiti, and I think there is a certain art behind that. But I don't really know if a toilet device, I guess if we are to consider it all together like that, maybe it could be saying something, but other than that, yeah.
So do you think it's good or bad?
I don't think it's good art because while it does take some creative talent to make that shape of the urinal bowl, it doesn't fascinate me or make me want to look at it for more than 2 seconds.
Go on.
Well, I don't really feel like, just in general, I don't feel like I'm like the authority to judge, but I think the whole object probably not good art, but I definitely think the graffiti presence on the urinal is good art.
Okay.
Have you seen this image?
I've seen this image before.
What do you know about it?
I know that this guy was just saying screw galleries, so he took stuff from like junkyards and shit and wrote his name on it and called it art.
So what do you see?
It is a urinal with his name written on it in a year.
It's called Fountain.
Okay. I didn't know the name of it, but yeah.
Do you think it's good art?
For the message he's sending, I would say yes, it's good art.
What kind of message do you think he's sending?
That art doesn't have to be defined.
Is this art? To me?
That's what I'm asking, yeah.
This is not art. This is like, I mean, it's a picture of, it's like, it looks like an advertisement. It looks like kind of like a urinal. Is that what it is? Yeah. It's like, I could go into a bathroom and take a picture of a urinal. Like, to make it a little bit more creative, but like, I don't know. Not just, I don't know how you make a urinal creative. It's not art.
It's called The Fountain.
The Fountain?
Does that change it?
No, it's still a urinal. I mean, what are you gonna do? It's a urinal. You can't like make that look good. You know? Yeah.
Good art, or is it art, and then good or bad?
I definitely think it's art because I could look at this for a long amount of time, see lots of things that aren't inherently there, and feel emotions and think thoughts that this is definitely not inherently trying to make me think.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think, you know, it doesn't matter how like easy something is to do, to be art. Obviously, this is just splatter paint, but I think that even with random splatters of paint, you can convey some sort of feeling towards an audience, and if the audience is willing to look for that, then we can easily see the art in it.
Good or bad?
I would say it's good.
Yeah, I definitely think it's good because even if it is randomly thrown on there, I think there's an art to the beauty of randomness.
Cool. Is it art? Is it art?
No.
It's definitely not art.
Care to explain why?
It's only there to facilitate space. It really has no purpose there besides just being clutter and it being a large object, only as a space filler again.
I've heard it argued that a 5-year-old could do work that would look like Jackson Pollock's. I don't believe that. I do believe a 5-year-old with sufficient height and strength could do this.
Okay, thank you very much.
Go to the last picture, which is a Jackson Pollock.
I usually.
I need a second to take this in.
I don't spend a lot of my class I need more things. I'd like to see.
Okay.
Okay. Do you think that's art?
I do think it's art.
Okay. Would you consider that good art?
And yes, I would consider that good art.
You would?
And the reason is, like, it initially looks a bit strange, but if you look to it for a while, like, you can see the splatters of black and the splatters of white seem to interact in almost interesting, complex ways.
Okay. Go on. What do you think makes good / bad art? Or do you even think there is anything?
I think there's definitely good and bad art, like exactly like what I said with the boxes before. And what would make that is like basically just how well it encompasses some idea that the artist is trying to express, be it like disgust, like that one, or it could be like a lot of classical art, like beauty or peacefulness, etc.
Okay.
That way.
What do you think the definition of art is?
Definition of art is anything you find beauty or meaning in, I would say. To each person it's different. Some people might not find certain things to be art, other people might.
You said this is beauty and meaning. Do you think this is beautiful?
In a sick sort of way, yeah.
What are the requirements to be considered art?
It really depends on what the person thinks. Everything has their own different kinds of aspects, and it's just a personal value to people.
Alright.
Since you think this is art, what do you think the requirements of art are? I think the requirements of art, like, sometimes I think they're just like the fine arts and like the really like high quality art that takes a lot of time and detail, but I think it can also be presenting things in new ways, even if they're like simple, because it challenges people to like think differently about it and see it as more than just like those boxes. And yeah, and I think it can be about people's reactions sometimes too, more than the piece.